Okay, time for our early street talk then. If you're just listening to this on YouTube, you haven't heard the bit before, we are not available this weekend. So we're getting an early episode out for you. Just have to wait a little bit longer for the next instalment. I kind of realised as well, because Jonathan sends us the...
clickbait.
The clickbait. He didn't know that we were recording early, so we haven't got any from him this week. But I did find one earlier today that I thought I'd test you out on. Yeah. This is from the Mirror. Coronation Street favourite sacked on the spot after weird behaviour.
That sounds wrong. That does sound like a lie.
This definitely happens.
Does that happen now?
Yes, this is current news. Coronation Street favourite sacked on the spot after weird behaviour. Who's been sacked on the spot?
No one.
Wow.
Who?
Wow.
Who?
In universe.
In the universe. Oh, Ryan?
Yes. That's quite a good clickbaity title, that one. That was
from the Mirror.
From the Mirror, saying that Ryan has been sacked. Because he was sacked by Debbie and then got a job back a day later.
Wow,
So that was
we
a bit of
click on
drama
that.
over nothing. I know. That's how it works. Right, so I've sorted this storyline into 6 this week. We're starting with the conversion storyline. No, I don't. Is the first storyline title.
Right.
That's not bad, is it?
No, that's
not too
right.
bad.
That's all right.
Although I don't know whether I'm saying no, I don't, or no, I do, just take him away and that's I'm done with him, to be honest. We had a bit more of the dementia storyline and the armed robbery. Yeah, I know, it's still terrible, isn't it? Lou's out, Gemma, because I think, well, she's not, she's in actually, but she's out of the show. Was today her last appearance? I don't know. It feels like things aren't looking good for Lou, are they? I mean, she's pleading guilty, she said, so she is facing somewhat of a stretch ahead of her.
Maybe we'll get to see her court appearance because she's supposed to be being sentenced.
I don't really see the point.
No, I don't.
Especially if she's pleading guilt. Like, it felt like today's episode, and maybe once the episode airs, maybe Farrell's going to put something on saying, "Well, that was it for me." I honestly don't know, but it felt like the goodbye and the hugs and the tears and the look after my kids cell it kind of felt like an ending, didn't it? And I don't know what more that having a court story would gain from that. Seeing her getting pulled away downstairs.
No, we don't need it, really. But I'm just not... I mean, we all know now that this character's not going to be in it, even though characters have been in prison before and we've seen their adventures.
Well, I was doing a bit of Googling earlier, and I was finding out how much of a stretch you would get for what Lou did. And it reckoned between 2 and 5 years.
Yeah, she said 2...
Did she say 2?
Well, she said, it's going to be at least 2 or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. So,
do you get out for good behaviour?
Yeah, maybe. So I really, we've made no secret of the fact that we're big Lou fans. I just really kind of feel over what they've done to her in the end. I must have said it last week. It was an exciting moment that someone's been clonked over their head, but...
You can't complain about drama that has consequences.
I can here because
Why?
I don't want it to happen to Lou.
I know.
It was almost like we've only got this lady for a couple of months. How do we get rid of her? Oh, let's have her go off to prison.
Well,
I just wish they'd been able to fit in a change of mind, and I know it doesn't work like that. Corrie doesn't change stories that they've plotted out, so clearly this was the plan right from the start. And I get how Mick being sent down was within his character because he was always a bit of a violent so-and-so, but Lou was being portrayed sympathetically. She was a victim of domestic abuse. It looked like, she needed support. It looked like we were possibly being treated to, let's have the community rally round her. Maybe some people would still be a bit distrusting of her because of her husband, but maybe Sally would be on her side and she could have come out and been another kind of Abby-ish sort of character, couldn't she? But instead, they're like, no, we said she's only going to be in it for 6 months, so off she goes to prison. Sorry if it doesn't feel right. And it's a real shame, because so many people commit crimes on Coronation Street, even violent ones, and they get away with it. Like, people drop the charges, even though in real life I don't think it quite works like that. Or they just manage to evade justice in some way, and they just not managed it for Lou. And what I kind of want to know is whenabouts in the process did Sally and Tim looking after the girls come into it? Was the beginning of the thought process like, right, we want Sally and Tim to have a fostering storyline. Where should we get children from? Or was it, we're going to bring in this family and then, wouldn't it be interesting? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just a real shame. And I think Farrell is a real talent and she's a breath of fresh air. But if it is only 2 years she's getting sent down for, maybe she gets let out early for good behaviour. We could well be seeing in her a year's time. I don't know, but
exactly. I think it would be a huge mistake to not ask her to come back. I would hope that she would like to come back if they ask her, but you never know.
Well, it looks like she enjoyed it, didn't she?
No, she might have something else to do. And I mean, in theory, if she does come back as a regular, it might not even be a whole year that you have to wait, because they could start putting her in prison stories to prepare for her return.
Yeah, possibly. I wonder whether it would be interesting to have like Joni and Shanice and Brody get their feet really under the table at the Metcalfs, and then when Lou comes out and wants the kids back, they're like, "No, I don't want to come back to you." It doesn't feel like that would be in their personality, does it? But I don't know. It's just a real shame. But it's been lovely having her on her screens, and maybe we still will get her later this week or next week. But yeah, I fear that the end is nigh for Lou fans out there. Lou has been flushed.
Oh dear. I also think it'd be good to see what Sally and Lou butting heads over how the children are raised.
Oh, it'd be like James and Dee Dee all over again, wouldn't it?
There'll be different rules for Sally, and then when Lou comes back, she'll be like, well, now they're allowed to go to bed when they like,
Well, yeah.
We've worked very hard to establish a routine and discipline with these girls.
I think possibly Joni is a little bit old for that, but Shanice could certainly be moulded into a different way. Not that she's got much of a personality as it is.
She's a cheeky little bugger, that one.
She is a little bit, isn't she? For someone so young, she's
so
quite, quite vocal. Anyway, we didn't even get to the end of our storyline list. We're also going to be then talking about the lease purchase agreement with what's been going on with number 6, and Hide and Geek is what has happening to Sam today under the table, because he's got a bit of PTSD himself, hasn't he, from last week's shocking school. I can always call it a school shooting, but it's not. But it felt like one. No. School menacing. So do you want to take the no I don't story?
Okay.
That was your perfect opportunity to say no I don't, but you go with it.
Do you think that there's always somebody with PTSD on Coronation Street now?
Well, there should be. The amount that happens. I think they're quite resilient, actually.
Because I know that we complained and said, there's no consequences and everyone just gets over it really quickly. But I'm not really into everybody always being traumatised one by one. No,
I'm somewhat. I think I'm somewhat interested in what they're doing with Sam here. And the potential for clashes between Nick and David, which was kind of gearing up again at Audrey's party today. But I am also kind of getting vibes of, we've seen Sam be traumatised before after Natasha died, and is it just going to be a rehash of that? I don't know.
I don't think I've really seen, maybe I'm wrong, a PTSD storyline that I've enjoyed since Gary's. And I think Gary's is the only one they've really done properly, isn't it?
What do you mean properly?
Well, because
Abby
he had
had
flashbacks and... Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And also, what's his name? Adam, he had wobbles, didn't he? Wobbly camera.
Yeah, everyone's had a bit of wobble camera.
Yeah, that's what I mean, though. But I think...
Is Sam going to be haunted by visions of Mick?
Or his mum?
I doubt it.
Well, because Abby's... It wasn't said that died, was it? It was Mason.
No, but it was similar.
Yeah. Doesn't mean his mum wouldn't be able to turn up, Michael. Do you get my point?
Yeah, fine. Yeah. Okay. So, Gemma, your favourite and mine, Theo, what's he been up to this week? Are we feeling any more sympathetic for him?
He's been steadily rolling and cutting the sleeves off of every single top he owns, this man. He's never seen a top with sleeves on, he couldn't take them off.
He's going to be doing it to his trousers next, aren't they? Converting them into hot pants.
Lovely knobbly knees. Yeah, so he is got his vest on, and he's set up a romantic, on Monday, Theo has set up a romantic candlelit event or whatever for Todd when he comes home from work. And he's like, seducing each other, and then Theo's like, oh, we should get our own place. And Todd's like, yeah, that's great.
Again, little bit too soon for this.
Yeah, this is very soon.
I don't know I'm still not sure about the status of number 11 at the moment. George seems to be like, I'm perfectly happy to be living here as long until anybody mentions
at
it.
the moment, it's still Mary, Todd.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting
George,
that Mary's there as well.
And now Theo.
Yeah. Is Millie there at the moment, or has she gone back to her mum? We haven't seen her this week, have we?
I don't remember.
Can't remember
what
where we're
Millie's up
supposed to. No.
So Todd's like, yeah, we should move out together. So in the cafe, Todd tells Billy about this, and Billy's like, oh, that's brilliant, and not at all too soon for a guy that you don't really know, who has serious issues that he's still dealing with. Then we have this interesting scene with this guy who was the builder, and this guy was like extra of the week, wasn't he? Or, he's not an extra.
I don't know. I'm going to say extras of the week are the guys standing around looking gormless in the community centre in today's episode.
What was the direction of that scene? Just look sad.
Just stand there. Just stand
there,
there with your arms dangling in the back.
Pretend you're a 5-year-old boy.
It doesn't matter. You can decide yourself. Are you gay, or are you on the conversion side? Whatever. You don't need to give anything away in your performance. Yeah. We just need to fill the room a little bit. Is what I felt about them.
If we could hire statues, we would.
But yeah, we did get a speaking part for Mr. Burly Builder here, didn't we?
I really liked him because he was like, hey, oh, like,
how's your new bird?
Yeah, it's a bit awkward because they haven't seen each other for ages, and he's now split up with his wife, and he knows that Danielle and Theo have split up, and he's asking him about his new bird, and Theo just goes along with it, and after he goes, Billy has been listening in, and he's like, why are you still in denial about this? And Theo says, I love Todd, but it's up to me when I tell people about what's going on with my situation.
I think I would be on Theo's side with this here.
That's fair enough. I don't know that you really want to.
Just in the middle of a cafe, in the middle of a working day.
That guy was not mentally prepared for the information that Theo would have had to have relayed to him.
Actually, I'm gay. That would have blown his little mind, that builder, I fear. Although maybe he'd have been a progressive builder. You never know. And say good for you, mate, and slap her on the back. But yeah, I don't blame Theo for this. This is quite similar to what we had with Carla and Lisa, wasn't it? Where Lisa wanted Carla to be a bit quicker to declare her love for or fancying of Lisa to the world, and Carla's like, I'll do it in my own time. Actually,
there's a difference between being secretive and or deciding to put people on like information diets. Like you don't need to know everything about everybody. Like maybe it's none of your business actually.
Yeah. And I don't imagine Theo's going to see this man again.
I don't know. But
there's plenty of other people that he hasn't told yet, and just sharing it with random strangers or old mates in the cafe is probably not top of his priorities.
Interesting, because he obviously has this business that he's suddenly become the owner of, and he's not making it a secret of going out with Todd, really. So do his workmates not know now, or his subordinates?
Yeah, that's a good point, actually.
And are they not going to gossip? Because men love gossip just as much as women. It's just they talk about football instead of their friends.
You're right. We've not seen any of Theo, I called him Leo last week, Theo's workmates since maybe his first appearance when he was up the scaffold and Julie was catcalling him.
Yep.
But you'd have thought that it would probably come up, especially if I suppose they could have been like, where are you staying? And he's just like, staying with a mate.
Yeah, when they find out, they're going to tease him. They will tease him.
How much do you think that Danielle would want to advertise it as well? Because I think it's possibly in her best interest if she doesn't at the moment.
I think she might think to herself, if I don't tell anybody, he might change his mind, and then we can pretend this never happened.
Yeah, exactly. But I think this story needs a bit more of a Danielle injection at the moment.
Do you reckon?
She's my favourite in the story, and she's getting severely underserved, I have to say.
Well, she must be watching the football or something.
I think that she's sitting at home just plotting her next revenge plan.
She's got a big burn book with Theo and Todd's faces in it.
Yeah.
Right, so Theo is in the bistro later, and Noah comes in, and Theo keeps getting in his face. He's quite threatening to Noah at times, but Noah's not intimidated at all, and he's using all this jargon which kind of made me go cold, to be honest.
What jargon?
When he started talking about damnation and eternal souls and everything, even though I was talking about that when we were talking about Dee Dee and the baby, I was just like, oh god, you sound so weird.
It came across as a bit
It's a bit. It sounded a bit hammy.
ungenuine.
Yeah, like would you really say that? I don't know. I don't know. Are you just in? Is it just inevitable that you're a loony if you truly believe that it's your job to tell people not to be gay? Well, is there like a normal human way of doing that? I don't think there is.
Noah's clearly taking, the guy who's playing Noah is playing him away as, yes, I'm a bad guy, I'm a nasty piece of work. He's
ironically quite campy. How villainous he's being.
And I don't know. I've never met anybody that tries to convert gay people for a living before.
I'm glad I haven't.
But I don't know. I in my head I imagine that they just try and do it in a nicer, more supportive way.
This guy
making it look like I'm trying to help you, and this person is like almost threatening him, saying you will be straight.
He's like a Disney villain.
Yeah.
If they made a film, if they made a cartoon about gay conversion therapy,
there aren't, maybe there shouldn't be. I don't know, but there aren't too many shades in the character of Noah at the moment. He's just full on bad guy.
He's just
and
really
might be a bit more interesting if they gave him a few more layers to his onion. I don't know.
I don't. Yeah, how nice do we and understanding do we have to be to people that think this is a good idea? I don't know. Like I always say though, if you want to really understand somebody, if you want to combat their beliefs, you have to understand where they're coming from. And this character doesn't feel like he's been written from a place of understanding, which is fine.
Well, he's supposed to be intolerant, I suppose, isn't he?
Well, yeah, I know, but there must be people who genuinely stay up at night thinking all these people are going to hell, I'm the only one who can stop them, and that must be incredibly stressful. But this guy is like he's clearly doing it because he just hates gay people and he wants them to stop being gay. And I don't think everyone who does gay conversion therapy thinks that is true.
Well, the thing is they hate the sinner and not the sinner, isn't it? And
yeah.
I'm getting more of an impression from Noah that he's hating the sinner at the moment.
But I'm obviously not excusing any kind of conversion therapy.
No,
because
of course.
It's clearly horrible. But I'm always interested in learning because it's fascinating to me. It's like when you go on a forum about something that you don't agree with and everyone's talking and it's like you've gone into a parallel universe and you're like, how do you all think this is real and true? I can't understand. They clearly do. He clearly obviously believes what he's saying.
I think they need to set Sam up with him. Just sit him down in a room and say, tell me your thoughts.
But one thing I will say, I'm glad that and this is skipping ahead a little bit, I'm glad they brought up that line in the Bible where it goes, you can't lay with a man no man should lay with a man as with a woman or something like that. I thought Billy's response was a bit weak.
Oh, he talked about there's loads of
like,
outdated stuff in the Bible. Just believe the bits you want to believe.
Yeah,
and I believe that being gay is brilliant.
I do choose your own adventure with the Bible, actually. Like, why didn't he say something like, that's misinterpreted, or it doesn't mean what you think it means, or something like that? Because there are loads of biblical scholarly arguments about what that actually means, that phrase. Yeah,
I agree. And then when he starts, he's very liberal, isn't he? He starts then saying, I suppose you believe that the world wasn't created in 7 days. The bishop needs to come in and say,
whoa, hang on a
down,
minute.
Billy, I think you'll find it was.
Excuse me, what does it say at the beginning of the book?
Yeah, exactly. But then Billy has been, in public. He was on the radio last year. Was it the year before? I lost track of it. The year before, sort of denouncing the Church of England, wasn't he? So maybe he's got a bit more. He's a bit more emboldened about questioning the holy text.
But I just don't think it's an established, agreed upon fact in the Christian faith that was just a bit of a story.
Yeah.
Some people genuinely think that happened and they're Christians, and I don't think that Billy would really argue with them about it, but he used that as a why didn't he say something like, why are you wearing mixed cloth? That's a far more stronger argument against him using Christian dogma to attack gay people, because it literally says loads of things like that in the Bible about not eating shellfish and
I just think that a lot of the religious dialogue in this week's episode just came off as just ever so slightly clunky to me. and that was an example of it for me.
But I mean, you don't want Noah to be too sympathetic because you don't agree with him. But I think it's abhorrent enough an idea in the first place. Like, he could be the nicest guy on the planet. It doesn't mean that I'm going to sympathise with him because of what he's doing.
Something that Bill Ward said to me earlier this week when I was chatting
Bill Ward,
with him.
friend.
You know, just when I was having that chat with ex-Corrie cast member Bill Ward.
Who did he play again?
Charlie Stubbs.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah, me and Bill were talking, and he said that he saw the evil inside Charlie straight away, but they wanted to make sure that he wasn't 100% nasty, and he needed to portray him in a way that made it clear to the audience what everybody else saw in him who liked him. Like, he was a nice guy with Jason, and he said, you know, he rescued Roy from bullies once, and he saved Devon Sanito when Mad Maya set the shop on fire, and it's like we had to have that. We couldn't just have him being out and out nasty, otherwise the viewers would be like, well, this doesn't seem genuine. He's a human there. No one is 100% nasty, and some people must clearly like him because he's a charming fella. And I think that in the case of Noah, some people must like him. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to get to the position that he's in now. People wouldn't trust him.
Billy's kind of shocked to see what he's up to.
So it feels like, I don't know, maybe I'm thinking about it far too much for just this bit character, but I'd be interested to see a little bit more depth to Noah's character.
Don't you think that it's probably because he is not a regular character, so it doesn't matter, he's just a villain?
Yeah, but how long's he going to be in it? I'm not sure. I don't know where this story's going, and the whole bringing up Theo's past and the conversion part of it, I'm not all that keen in pursuing that particular avenue. But then I don't know what the avenue that I want to pursue. Actually, I do know is not what Theo or having it go down the domestic abuse route, which we'd said before. And there was another bit at the end of today's episode where Noah and Theo meet in the street, and I was like, oh, go on, Theo. Just punch him in the face.
It's not domestic abuse to punch somebody.
No, but it shows that he's got a violent streak, exactly. But again, we didn't. And that's where I want the story to go. And the same with James. Like, he made these threatening noises to James a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. But nothing has happened there. And it feels like this week they've doubled down on, look, he's crying, feel sorry for Theo, and I just can't.
I just don't like him so much.
he's a massive cheat on his wife, and not particularly an interesting character.
Well, I never liked
him. He's made verbal threats to Todd, and he's just treated him despicably.
Well, he roughed him around.
Yeah, and he said, I'm going to punch your teeth in if you ever touch me again.
He roughed him up outside the kebab shop that time.
Yeah, and I get that you're supposed to be thinking, oh, you know, he's had a very difficult past, he's very confused inside, sometimes that shows itself as such and such behaviour, but I still stand by the fact that he's not good for Todd. No. Todd can do better than him, and I feel sorry for anyone in his situation who is so thoroughly messed up as Theo is. But I don't want to see him pursue this relationship with Todd any longer than it needs to be, and I can't believe I'm championing a story where Todd gets abused, but that to me is more interesting to take Theo down the kind of villainous route. But then it turns into, is it a victim blaming story? And I'm interested about where this goes, but I'm not necessarily at the moment thinking, oh, this is going to be a great story.
Nothing can happen to Theo to make me like him. There's no experience he can go through. There's nothing he could do. No. At this point.
And I genuinely, hand on heart, do not know if they are setting him up to be a regular character or whether he's going to be gone in weeks or months. I've not
really don't know.
Not got a clue.
Do you know, with Noah?
Yeah.
And I don't want anyone to read into anything I'm saying about the actor, but do you not think that Noah kind of seems a bit gay to you?
No, I didn't get that at all.
I'm wondering if they're going to make out that Noah's also gay and all of this is one big coke.
They could do, can't they? But we have sometimes seen that in the past and it's not gone anywhere, because everyone was saying that Mason was going to be gay. I was saying that I thought Mason was going to turn out to be gay, didn't I? Because of what he was saying to
anyone can be gay now.
About Sean to Dylan, and then they didn't go down that route. Right. So it's... I don't know.
I think it would be a bit of a cop-out, because I do think that it's a very easy thing that people throw at people that are homophobic and say, oh, they're all just in the closet, like they all hate gays because they are gay themselves. I think that is a silly cop-out thing to say because I don't think it's true.
No.
I think that...
It could be a fun twist for this, though, couldn't it?
I think it's... to me, I've... For a few weeks now, I've been thinking, I bet Noah fancies Theo.
Wow. Could do.
I don't know.
Could do.
Well, anyway, so Noah's there lecturing him, saying it's a cardinal sin.
Oh yeah, we're back in the bistro now.
His soul will never be at peace, and I'm starting a new group tomorrow, and it's not too late, and he gives him a leaflet. Back at number 11, Theo tells Todd he's feeling a bit sick and he doesn't want to go, want to do any.
Not in the mood for a bit of rumpy pumpy, is he, Theo?
No, thank you.
And Todd's kind of knocked off at this, isn't he? It's like,
I know. He's kind of annoyed. It's
I
like,
know.
well,
I've been wrapping myself up for this tonight, Theo.
It's not fun.
Worn the best end of crackers.
So Theo's like, I'm going to go and get some air, and he goes out and he looks at this leaflet. And what was it? What did it say? I can't remember. It was very. It wasn't obviously a
something about change, wasn't it?
Have you got it written down?
No, I don't think I have.
It was like
change is possible. I don't know.
I think it's the sort of thing I might accidentally go to. Because it just said like
if you happen to find it on the street,
change is possible. You come to this community meeting and support each other to change. Like I'll be there going, I'm so sorry. I thought this was for fat people. I've got to go.
I did find it interesting how they had it in the Victoria Street Community Centre, which we barely see used anymore.
Well, he did it on purpose.
Yeah, they made. I'm glad they addressed that because we're always saying, it's always just go to the same place again. And they said on Wednesday that he's doing it on purpose to get under.
Them of always doing it at the same place when they haven't used that set for ages.
No, exactly. I know. But there are many. Why not in a church? How affiliated with the Church of England is Noah and what he's doing and this scheme? I wouldn't have thought it was sanctioned.
Billy knew him from something official. He had an official position.
Did he? I can't remember. But I would have thought that maybe the church hall might be a better place for this, or Chariot Square.
In real life, I'm sorry, but in somewhere like I don't know about Weatherfield. But in parts of Manchester, because of how progressive the city is and how accepting a lot of the people are, and I know not everybody is, but I think it's a very progressive city. If you were a community centre who held a gay conversion therapy group, you might find yourself in a lot of hot water very quickly. I would imagine that Suki What's-Her-Face from the Weatherfield Gazette might be interested in doing an expose about it. I tell you what, Yasmin be rolling in a grave.
I know she would. Yasmin would not be in favour of that. Well, when old Griff did his crayfish talk a couple of years ago, they had Roy there turning up as a protest, didn't they?
Well, I think that the Weatherford Gazette should do an expose about the extremist movements that keep cropping up at this community centre because they've got like a grooming gang of people for young kids, teaching them how to be actors.
Yeah,
that's suspicious.
Is that still going on, Little Big Shots? Or has Glenda got a handful at the moment?
White supremacist
summer holidays,
groups
it's prime time.
And gay conversion therapy groups. Maybe all the other residents of Coronation Street and Victoria Street and Rosamond Street are actually much more conservative than everybody else.
Maybe.
And that's why they keep attracting all of these.
Who is in charge of the community centre these days?
Yeah, some kind of evil right wing.
I don't discriminate.
No. Everyone should. It's a democratic society and we should all be able to listen to each other's ideas.
That's so funny. Makes you think, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. Right,
anyway.
Wednesday, Todd can see that Theo's down in the dumps, but Theo's like, no, I'm fine, leave me alone. I saw Noah again. And Todd thinks that he's being harassed by him, but he strides off. And then Todd finds this screwed up leaflet in the kitchen bin and immediately knows somehow that this is gay conversion therapy.
Do you know when we were watching it and Todd's kind of stopped and stared at it in the bin and you're like, pregnancy test?
Yeah. Oh no, Millie's up the duff again. So,
maybe it's just the fake baby belly that he finds in there. That'd make you wonder. I don't remember having blancmange. What's this? Oh my God.
Oh my God. Todd tells George about Theo's past and then George is like, oh, you're just worrying over nothing. It's all just a big coincidence. Everyone, just because it's happening in Victoria Street at that community centre, that's incredibly antisocial. And Todd's like, no, I'm sure that Noah's preying on him.
If you'll pardon the pun.
praying over him. So Theo turns up at the community centre for no reason whatsoever.
That was odd. That was... And sorry, the first half of today's episode was Jan McVerry, who I highly respect as a writer, but that was a weak cliffhanger, I'm going to say.
It? Well, he turns up there at 3, and it starts at 5, so he's not there yet. And then nothing comes of it.
I didn't notice the timing of it. Maybe
nothing comes of it because he's not there yet.
Yeah, he goes into the community centre, which is just
empty.
open, and he's like, "Noah, are you there?" And I don't know what I was expecting, but literally the next time we see Theo, he's back at home again, isn't he?
It's like,
so
I was expecting Noah to turn up beaten up.
Yeah, or even at the end of the episode when he and Noah have that confrontation outside number 11. Making some kind of reference to a unseen chinwag that they had between 3 and 5 o'clock, but it was nothing.
But it was to make us think that he was the one that was being prayed over when Todd and Billy burst into the community centre, but I knew it couldn't really be because he would have been there for 2 hours.
Yeah, it didn't work, unless they put it in to plant the seeds for something that's going to be sprouting out in next episode or next week. I don't know, but yeah.
Maybe maybe Theo and Noah were like kissing.
Maybe they were. Maybe they were.
And then they had to run away.
And then they were just too embarrassed to mention it later.
Yeah, well, you don't bring it up, it's awkward, isn't it? To gay conversion therapy. Right, so, Todd and Billy... oh no, hang on, go back a bit. Todd, Billy and George are in the pub and Todd's worried because he can't find Theo, and Billy tells Todd about the interaction with this workmate where he denied Jesus, which worries Todd even more. So then Todd and Billy burst into the community centre right as they're praying over somebody who everyone thought was Theo, but it's not. And he's like, no.
Check the arms, it's a giveaway.
Yeah.
You couldn't see them, he had his sleeves down.
Noah says that Theo is safe, which is weird. There must have been something that happened between them, because how would he know that? There must have been something that happened.
Yeah, there must have been.
So Noah starts spouting Bible verses like he's in a Pokemon battle and he can just use the power of God to defeat.
Use Leviticus.
Yeah. Billy was stunned. And then it was weird because Todd gets annoyed at this and he starts wrestling him.
Todd uses headlock. Yeah. Super effective.
He does. He grabs him in a headlock and it's like he's trying to pull the religion out of his brain or something. He's like squeezing him and then he mashes his face into the table. And all of these these men are just standing there like, oh no.
This was it, wasn't it? That's why they were just dopey useless,
no.
These guys in the back. Sorry, essays who were there.
What's your motivation for this scene? You're all a bunch of drips. Why are you just standing there miserable?
Easily convertible.
And one of them films it. Yeah, they were not the prime crop, were they, really? No. They were all very sad. They're obviously all really traumatised, I guess. Is that what we were supposed to think?
Maybe. But then I didn't know whether they were all on his side. It was confusing. But yeah, the power of Todd could not compel the evil spirits out of Noah.
We're not sure whether they're all there to be converted or some of them are there to convert.
No, it just would have looked weird if it was Noah on his own, basically. Wouldn't it?
Well, I mean, it is a group. It's still a group.
Well, you can want a group, but nobody turns up.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we thought was going to happen on our walk.
Exactly.
Maybe they were just gathering to go on a charity walk.
Maybe they were.
I'm actually pretty... I mean, it's an evil enterprise, but, good turnout for Noah.
Maybe they were just hanging around from the basket weaving class that had happened beforehand.
And they were like, I don't know what this is. I was targeted to be rude to leave now. We just got to join in. Yeah. So there were like, 6 or 7 of them there?
We're spending far too long talking about these.
But I just found it fascinating. How did they... Are there that many people that would think, this very vague poster that I've just been given must mean gay conversion? Maybe there's a whole language and subtext to it. Like some groups have these... these phrases that mean something different to them than it does to everybody else.
If I'd gone to the trouble of printing out some glossy leaflets, I'd probably be a bit disappointed if only 7 people turned up.
Yeah, but there's 7 souls you can save from hell.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Saving
Can't
souls.
put a price on that, can you?
No, exactly. That's really hard.
Yeah.
So somebody there is filming Noah and Todd, and it is kind of a lethargic fight because Noah's not really fighting back.
No.
And it's kind of awkward, like, why are you being so violent, Todd? You know?
It did come a bit out of
playing
nowhere.
right into his hand.
Yeah.
So they have another argument. Noah has a go at Billy, and then this is when it comes up about laying with men in 7 days in a week. And so they all storm off. And George comes home and finds that Theo is on the sofa crying and talking about how weak he feels. So yes, he must have had a conversation with Noah.
I don't know. I really don't know.
And
did anything happen and we completely missed it? It's not beyond the realms of possibility. We did watch this one quite early this morning, didn't we? We got up at 7 for this one.
Right.
But yeah, I Theo can cry as much as he like, but it just doesn't work on me.
And we are definitely not the kind of people who are like, men shouldn't cry, because like all the stuff with Billy and Paul last year was so moving, and I would hate to think that I'm the person that would just not, go.
No, we're not. We just don't really like Theo.
I know. I'm just kind of like anticipating what people might say. Like, I just hate Theo, and there's nothing he can do. So
maybe you need some conversion therapy to make you like Theo.
I'm a bigot.
Send Noah around.
I hate Theo, specifically for Theo. So he's just saying, "Oh, I feel weak," and George is like, "No, cry on my shoulder," etc. Meanwhile, Billy and Todd are coming back from the community centre. I like this conversation. This felt like a normal conversation that characters on Coronation Street don't normally have, where Todd's like, "Oh my god, I was filmed then. Do you reckon they're going to use it? Do you reckon he really was filming me, or just like pretending that he was filming me?" And Billy's like, "I think he was, yeah, really."
These kind of things do have a habit of going viral around these parts, don't they?
And he's like, "What if Noah tries to get me banged up for assault? What's Theo going to say?" And Billy's like, "I don't know, mate. Let's just go get drunk." So they go to the pub. I wonder
whether... how underground is what Theo is doing? I know he's advertising it, but like you said, Manchester is a very progressive city. Noah, sorry, yeah. And it feels like if it gets out there too widely, he's going to have the whole population of Canal Street come marching down on Theo. And
you mean Noah?
Yes, Noah. I could,
the same name, isn't it?
And yeah, giving him a good seeing to. In a bad
way. Okay. Don't know about that. It doesn't feel like the sort of thing that you would want to go on about.
But then maybe you do if you're just saving souls.
Aren't there people preaching weird things all the time?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a very diverse place, Manchester. So there's room for all kinds of prejudices. So Theo's still with George, and he's like, "Why can't I just tell Noah to do one? I can't. Nothing should stand between me and Todd or whatever." And then Theo's like, "The power of shame is pretty strong." And Todd walks in and tells him that he's just went to this therapy group and he's just beat Noah up. Theo's not very happy about this because he was going to beat him up.
No, he wasn't.
He's annoyed. And this is another red flag, isn't it? Because he's actually annoyed that Todd went off with Billy, because he says, "Why do you go and have a drink with your ex? Like, let's just ignore all the other stuff that's happened, and let's focus on like the most boring, uninteresting part."
A little bit more of a jealousy bubbling away inside Theo there, do you think?
Controlling behaviour.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Yeah. So, and he says, Theo's saying that Noah cannot cope with Theo being a living, breathing proof that what he's doing is doomed to fail, and he tells Todd that he's committed to him. So this is interesting. Why can't Noah cope with that? Because he's gay. Don't know. Theo tells Todd that there's no way he's going back to the sessions again. He says, "I don't want to change, because I don't want to give you up." And then Theo and Noah meet on the street, and Theo squares up to him and says, "You're going to have to let me live my life." And then Noah's like, "Rescuing sinners is a 24/7 vocation." That was so cringe.
Yeah, I mean, how at what point is he just going to give him up as a lost cause?
He always just looks really smug, doesn't he, Noah?
Yeah. At some point, you must just think...
Something. Well, I mean, this is a soap, so some kind of dramatic thing will have to happen to make Noah not be in the show anymore.
Yeah.
What would
and
that
it's not
be?
going to be Theo converting the way he wants to, is it?
No.
Taking him away.
So
although that's what happened to Zoe Tattersall, isn't it? They didn't manage to rescue her from the cult in Nirav. And last seen disappearing off with Bern Gorman. I don't know. I think that probably Noah might resort to some kind of desperate measures that will probably see him carted off by the police. Is it illegal what he's doing? I don't really know.
I don't know. They wanted to ban it, didn't they?
I don't know. I don't know much about it.
The government wanted to ban it, and they talked about it, but I don't know how you can really. I
don't think it is at the moment.
Isn't it? I don't agree with it at all, and I think it's terrible. But
maybe he'll try and kidnap Theo or something, and he could be done for kidnap possibly.
It's a very confusing specifically. It's a very confusing thing to try to ban, because it's like banning somebody from thinking something.
Mm. Well, I don't know. We'll see. But
and a lot of those men were there. Well, and Noah didn't force any of them to go.
No, some
really
people
sad.
want to be converted.
It's really sad that they feel that way. But should you make it illegal, or should you just work on improving society to the point where nobody wants to go to these things? And I know that it will take a lot longer.
Yeah, it just kind of made me. I can't remember how we said Billy knew Noah earlier, but I wonder whether Noah knew of Billy's little bit on the radio a couple of years ago and what he would think about that.
Well, it's weird because Billy had no idea that Noah had any of these, thoughts and beliefs.
Yeah,
I don't
he's
see
not been handed a leaflet.
How can he? It's not like this was a clandestine group meeting at night in the shadows in the woods or something. He was in a local community centre and he made flyers. How does Billy not know what this guy's getting up to? And how has it never come up in conversation the whole time? If Noah's job is 24/7 saving souls from being gay, why has he never brought this pays. Up? Probably not well. It's probably £90 a week on job seekers. How has he not tried to save Billy's soul? If I was Billy, I'd be offended actually and say, why when you save my soul?
Yeah.
Rude.
Right, okay, so that was that story. Let's move on to what Debbie's been up to this week, which has just been a little bit of a 2-day adventure with Ryan, really, hasn't it?
You're fired.
By the end of the 2 episodes, they're pretty much back to where they were when they started.
Monday's episode was weird because it felt like, and this is going to sound weird, a Wednesday's episode, and Wednesday's episode felt like a Friday's episode.
How so?
Because Monday's episode felt like a flailing around for the point. And I think we said that when we recorded our short. Like, what really happened there? I don't know. It was all about just treading water, really. And kind of that sometimes happens on a Wednesday, doesn't it? Where they're like in the middle of the week going, oh, God.
I don't know. I don't associate particular.
Wednesdays really did feel like a Friday. And maybe it was just because we were watching it and knowing that we were going to have to do a podcast that day. I don't know.
I'm not sure.
It just felt a bit conclusive. Do you know what I mean?
All of this, it was just, to me, and maybe there was more, and maybe we'll realise there's more as we talk about it. My initial viewing was it was a case of Debbie doesn't like people treating her differently because she's got dementia and she's got enough of her faculties at the moment, and she's in control of herself. So yeah, don't treat me differently, and I can still do this. But we've already had that from Debbie, and it felt a little bit. They run out of ideas for her already, which I would assume isn't the case. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But maybe this is the thing with this is a long-term story, and it's going to be probably a long time until Debbie is significantly different to how the Debbie that we know and love. But they're still seeming quite insistent at the moment at throwing stories at Debbie, even though they're not necessarily necessary. Give the woman a break. Sue Devaney has probably got quite a bit on over the next few years in Coronation Street, and putting in little stories like this. I don't know. To me, just didn't seem particularly needed.
I would like her to have a lot of stories now.
I suppose that's the point as well. While she's still herself. Yeah. Okay. Well, there was also a little bit of Carl stuff on Monday, wasn't there? Because he turns up at the garage with a bruised face, and it looks like he's taken a bit of a beating from the people who he owes money to, which Abby notices, and he's like, "Oh, I just tripped out while I was walking around on my phone. What an idiot!" Don't want to talk about it though, so that we obviously know that there's something going on there. Meanwhile, back at the hotel, you got Ronnie reminding Debbie. Oh no, this was at the cafe. No, this was at the shop actually, wasn't it? Ronnie telling Debbie that a health and safety guy's coming over today, which worries Debbie as she's forgotten about it. And we've seen a few instances now of Debbie forgetting things and then immediately thinking, "It's my dementia. Is this it? Is this it?" Which must be terrifying because she knows that she's been told that she's still going to be herself for the foreseeable future, but I can imagine that every time you think you forget something, this is the beginning of the end. And am I ever going to be normal again? But everybody forgets things all the time. But it doesn't mean you've got dementia, but you're going to be looking out for these signs everywhere now. It's
horrible.
Which I guess must be this, it's going to happen with any long-term or terminal disease. You're going to think, is this it? Is this it? But,
oh God.
So yeah, it was just the health and safety man that came around anyway. Did anything happen with that? I can't remember.
We got a moany customer.
We got a moany customer at the hotel, didn't we? Having a go at Debbie after not being able to get to sleep any of the night because of being allergic to something or other. Was she saying that the pillows were making her sneeze? I don't remember. But the Debbie, she also gets filmed. Everyone's just filming characters having rants this week, aren't we? Because this woman films Debbie having a go at her and telling her to bite her at the end, but that didn't turn into anything either.
I'm a bit worried now because I'm thinking that maybe somebody's starting a YouTube channel of like on the street Weatherfield clips, and that could blow up.
Well, it could be just a spin-off from Abby's Kev the Crank series, couldn't it? And now it turns out that everybody has a bit of a rant if this mood takes them.
Well, my question is, are these? Is there a reason why these are not being filmed on someone's phone? When somebody's pretending and you see their phone screen and it really genuinely is exactly the same as what's happening in front of it. It's not like they pre-recorded it and she's just pretending to go along with it. It is them filming her on their phone. Why could they not just upload that to their TikTok or something?
Who, Coronation?
Yeah.
They do sometimes.
Not all the time, though.
No. I don't know. Anyway, so Debbie's having a bit of a mood with this customer, but Ryan tells her that he's charmed the lady into deleting the footage later, so that's all okay. And in exchange for this, Debbie gives him a big old smackaroo on the lips to thank him. This is what then spirals into the big misunderstanding, disagreement.
What did you think of this?
Well, we said on the short that Ryan and Debbie having that kiss, there was a promotion picture for that, and we'd both seen it beforehand, and we're like, what's going on there?
I was like, I don't like this at all. I don't like the idea of this.
No, I definitely didn't like the idea of
Ryan and Debbie having an affair, because I'm not bothered. I mean, I find them charming.
Not in that way.
But no, Ronnie, I'm saying Ronnie and Debbie, I find them kind of charming, but only because of how much I like Debbie, right? I think that Ronnie's a good balance for her because he's very chill. And, in real life, I think they would make a good couple. Does that mean I think that I like them as
a soap couple?
Not hugely, but I'm glad that she's got somebody in her life that is going to seemingly take care of her. To have Ryan and Debbie then have an affair on top of that would have probably finished me off.
Yeah, so in some ways I'm relieved that having seen the promotional picture, it wasn't going down that route. But I suppose the questions that come up from this are, A, was Debbie, was it okay for her to do that to her employee? And B, was Ryan right is it understandable that Ryan misinterpreted it? So
I think it's funny that at the end of this, she sexually assaulted him and then made him apologise.
Yeah. In real life, and I know that they're close, and I know that, they're characters, and we know they're both popular characters, and they're harmless.
Oh, and Debbie,
and all that, but I don't think that it was okay for Debbie to do that to Ryan.
Well, he didn't like it, did he?
No, and later on...
But he didn't like it because he thought she had dementia.
Later on in the episode, she shows Ronnie what sort of a kiss it was, and he's like, it was just that, it was just a kiss on the... But That is definitely the sort of thing that if you have got a particularly vindictive employee or somebody with an axe to grind, they could certainly get you into trouble for that.
I think she's too used to working with what's his face, Raphael.
Do you think?
I bet she's always giving him a smack on the lips.
Raphael comes over and is like, oh yeah, she does it all the time with me.
Yeah.
I keep telling her you can't convert me, Debbie. Not as already tried. I'm a lost cause.
Oh my god.
I think it was a bit out of order, and
I don't mind. I think it's funny, and I think people cross lines all the time. But I do think it's funny that if you boil it down to the blandest elements, he did get sexually assaulted at work and then fired for complaining.
What's the difference between that and somebody just like patting him on the bum?
Well, do you remember?
Or squeezing his biceps?
Well, we've had stuff like that was kind of what tipped us off that Mick was a wrong end when he was kind of like coming on to Daisy, and they were.
Oh yeah, he was, wasn't he?
It's because Debbie is like 4'0", and Ryan's a guy, and so because she's a lady, she's not as threatening.
It's like we know what Debbie's like.
Yes.
But to me, I felt that having her kiss Ryan was a bit out of what I would think that she was like. And I don't think Debbie would do that.
No, I didn't find this weird. I thought this is the sort of thing Debbie would do. I just find it funny to talk about.
I don't know. It felt like it was put in for the scandalous picture and the plot that could then be spun out from it over the next couple of episodes.
I mean, would she have done? I mean, she probably would have done that to Abby.
I don't think she would.
I think she would.
So, how did that? On the other hand, and so how did you feel about Ryan's reaction to it? And do you blame him for misinterpreting it?
I don't know what Ryan was like. Is she being eccentric or is she being demented? Like quite literally.
Yeah, because this is where the story is really, isn't it? Like, how much does Debbie know what she's doing? And Ryan immediately jumps down. He's probably used to women throwing himself at him, and they're not all demented. But he goes and tells. I don't
know if that's the right word to use.
I think you can still use it. So anyway, he goes and tells Ronnie what happened, just as Debbie happens to rock up to hear about it. And Debbie, she thinks it's hilarious because she didn't think there was anything to misinterpret here. It was just a friendly smacker, she says. And Ryan's like, well, I've been reading up on dementia, actually. And Debbie doesn't like being treated like an invalid and being read up on, and so she clops off and goes off to her own thing. But yeah, I don't necessarily blame Ryan for doing this, because like I said, I don't think that this is too out of character for her.
Yeah, I mean,
I do think this is out of character for her.
Part of dementia is your inhibitions become lowered and your behaviour can change.
Right.
And so, but what Ryan's thinking is this was like unwanted sexual contact, right? But what Debbie was doing was just like,
Thanks for rescuing me.
I'd kiss a dog. Like, I'm not, there's literally nothing here. Like, I don't think of you in that way at all. It didn't even cross my mind. So Ryan's coming from a place of concern, and it does make me wonder whether this might actually come back up again in a year's time or something. And this might be a very sad...
Yeah, that's a really good point. She might...
harbinger of what might be to come.
When her inhibitions and faculties and everything
she doesn't know
lowered.
who he is. She thinks he's her boyfriend or something.
Well, they both do have big manly arms, don't they? Ryan and
I don't
think
Ronnie. You would confuse the two, but I also don't think that... I think it's possible that Debbie might not even realise that she's with...
No. Yeah, if they're going to go down that route, then fair play that they put it.
There's lots of things that could happen. I mean, I don't know what they're gonna what aspects they're gonna explore of this, but they did quite a lot with Paul that I didn't think they'd ever do. I thought it might be too challenging or something. Yeah. But this is going to be a very difficult story, and just even when Debbie is just being Debbie, it's still hard to watch,
Yeah.
knowing what's coming.
Yeah. So Ronnie catches up with Debbie later and says, look, you're right, Ryan did get it wrong earlier, and she's clearly unhappy with this, right? Because Ryan put it down to dementia, and she's like, this is exactly why I didn't want people knowing about my condition, because I don't want to be treated like a patient. Just leave me alone. Everyone just needs to leave me alone. I'm still me. I'm still normal at the moment.
Yeah, because even though she's not, she feels like nothing's gone wrong with her yet. She's still being treated like it is.
Yeah, although, no, but it is, she's noticing some things, isn't she? Like, she is forgetting some things, like the health and safety man coming round. So the more that people treat her like an invalid, the more it's kind of backing up her own fears that the decline has already started.
Yeah.
And so she doesn't need any extra
and
help with that,
you probably also
really.
might second guess yourself and think, why did I do that?
Maybe. Yeah.
And also she must be thinking, I need employees who are actually going to take direction from me.
I need employees that are just going to let me kiss them and not moan about it afterwards. So meanwhile, you've also got Carl, black-eyed Carl, and Debbie sees him in the cafe and is like, well, what's going on with you? How much is it going to cost to take whoever did this to you off of your back? And she promises to do a bank transfer without realising quite how much it is.
God, can you imagine being so loaded that you're just like, yeah, have a couple of grand.
I know. Well, she thinks that she doesn't realise how much it is, does she?
Well, she
until
doesn't
later in
have
the episode.
all of what he wants.
No.
But this annoys me about soaps. When somebody needs a bit of money and somebody offers to give them it, and then they find out it's way more than they thought, why doesn't the person who needs the money say, yeah, all right, just give me what you can? They never say that. They always go, I don't want any then.
Yeah, I know.
If they went around and asked everybody, they might end up scraping it together.
No. You could go, like Rita, she's usually good for a couple of grand, isn't she?
Yeah, just go, look, so I've got some people on my back, Rita, help me out.
I mean, especially, she's always transferring money to Sally Webster, so Carl Webster's not a stone throw away.
Maybe she's
got a special Webster checkbook.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't
think Rita's in the habit of giving money out. I cannot wait for when this woman dies. It's going to be like at the end
dies?
when Rita. Not that I'm hastening her exit, but it's going to be like at the end of like a Mario level or whatever. When when you hit the coin thing and then loads and loads of coins come out.
Yeah,
that's all the flat. It's just going to all these coins, gold coins.
Was it like a coin pinata?
Yeah. And everyone gets one
jackpot. Yeah. We see Carl on the phone later on promising that they're going to get their money by the end of the day, and Abby overhears this conversation, and this is when she finds out that he's in debt up to his eyeballs. And I hated this little interaction.
How has this happened? What has he got? What's he done now? Because
it's the same debt as before.
Yeah, but last time we saw him, he was getting loads of money from the MOT scam. Is he still doing that?
I assume
that's still happening in the background.
Well, these loan sharks are not wanting to wait much longer, it seems. So I hated this scene because you had more of the Abby going, "Oh, Carl, you'll be all right." And she kind of takes his hands and it's like, "Oh, I fancy you. Everything's going to be all right."
I couldn't bear it if something happened to you. I'd shove him in the boot of the car and drive it into the canal.
Yeah, do the work for them. Maybe I don't know who the local loan sharks are these days now that Rick Neelan is no more, but I don't
think they'd like that because they want him alive and paying the money back, don't they? I think if you did that, they'd say that you had to pay them the money now.
Yeah, that's how it works.
I know how to be a loan shark.
So Ryan tries to talk to Debbie about the whole misunderstanding later, and he says, "Look, I'm really sorry for misreading things." He tries to talk to her about her condition again, saying that it's really common for people with dementia to be in denial, and she fires him.
Yeah, it's not a conversation she wants to have.
No, but again, little bit unlawful.
I know this
for her to fire him.
No, I think
How long's he been working for?
No, I think she can fire him. You can be fired for anything, as long as it's not discrimination. In this country, the first 2 years, I think because we have really great employment rights compared to America, I think a lot of us get super smug about like how protected you are, but in the first 2 years, they don't really need to give you a reason.
Okay.
You can't be fired because you had a baby or you're a woman or.
It was I'm still going to say it was a massive overreaction on Debbie's part.
Oh, I know, but I do
proved by the fact that she gives him his job back the next episode.
I do love on Corrie when people just get fired out of nowhere.
Again, it was just a bit of a cliffhanger bait, really,
It was
wasn't
just
it?
a 2-day.
Oh, where's Ryan going to work now?
Paper.
Back at the Rovers again? Or no, just back at the hotel, it's fine.
Well, he's supposed to be, surely at this point, he's thinking about getting his own place. He needs a job to get his own flat. If Carla and Lisa are moving out.
Oh, yeah.
But I do think, did he say that he was looking for a place, or is he just going to move with them?
I don't know. I don't remember him saying anything about that, but I might be wrong. So Debbie and Ronnie end up in the pub later, and they both apologise to each other as well. And she's like, every time I forget something, I can't help feeling that this is it with the dementia. And he's like, learning curve for both of us. Don't worry, we're going to make it through this. And then it's just, oh yeah, and this is the scene when Lauren comes along. Did anybody else spot that when Lauren, was it you that spotted it? I don't think it was me. She brings Ronnie and Debbie a glass of wine that's nearly full, passes it to Debbie, and by the time, then you cut to Debbie taking it, and there's about a good 2 centimetres of wine down.
I like to think that Lauren just drank a bit as she passed it over.
Poor continuity there.
Oh dear, someone's
look
in
out
trouble.
for it. Somebody should be fired over that. It's been working for
You're
Coronation
fired.
Street for less than 2 years. Anyway,
I think
Carl
I
comes
think
over.
we'd be fired for this podcast.
Carl comes over. We've been doing it longer than 2 years. We're fine.
Oh, that's true.
Carl comes over and is like, "So, Debbie, about that money you said that I could have. Could I have it now? Maybe £50,000 worth?" And Debbie's like, "It's £50,000. This is serious money. I can't give you that. Sorry." And then Carl tries to smile it off as Debbie and Ronnie leave the pub. So that's kind of
This was
that's
bizarre.
the end of that.
This was really bizarre because if my brother came to me and desperately needed money, and I found out that it was 50 grand, I wouldn't go, oh well, it solves the problem from my perspective. If it's not enough money and you need 50 grand and I don't have it, that's the end of my involvement in this story. Wouldn't you be like, what the hell have you done? How have you got 50? What are we going to do about it?
She's got enough to worry about at the moment. She's got dementia, don't you know?
Well, he's played his cards now because he's asked her for the money, and we thought this story for ages was going to be Carl not telling anybody that she had dementia and then using it to siphon money away from her.
I'm sure they wanted us to think that as well. It was definitely looking like it was going down that route.
But is he going to do that anyway? Is he going to take the money off her and go, no, you said I could have that. You said I could have 50 grand, don't you remember?
He could, yeah, possibly. Because the money problem's not going to go away, and it feels like Debbie...
That's what I mean. Debbie's like, oh, well, not my problem anymore.
But equally, it's going to have to happen quite quickly, because I don't think those loan sharks are going to wait for the filming block's over, is it? Okay, we'll come back in 3 weeks.
Yeah, 3 weeks.
It's like, no, I think they want that now, so it wouldn't surprise me if Monday's episode...
or Friday.
Friday's episode, even, we get a little bit more to that. Because Abby and Kevin are away now, aren't they? So... I guess Carl is left in the house on his own.
Well, Carl's gonna rob the business probably.
He could actually. He could do something in the garage while they're away, couldn't he? Take advantage of it. I know. Is Tyrone? He's only semi-working there, isn't he? Because he's also looking after Doran allegedly at the moment.
No, Abby joins Carl in the pub later, and he's like, "Oh, I've got this money sorted. Don't worry about it." But we see he gets a text message, and he completely ignores this because they advise him that if he wants to earn quick money, he should join TikTok.
No, that's not what the message said.
Well, I think it's a good idea.
We need the money now, TikTok.
Yeah, get it on TikTok.
No.
I think he could make a lot of money on TikTok by doing sexy dances, and Ryan could probably help him.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
Sexy
him
car
and Ryan
dancers.
could earn double.
You reckon?
Ryan, at this point, Ryan's unemployed too.
Posing for photos like that one of Tyrone and Alina in front of an exploding car.
Yeah. What was Ryan on? That wasn't
Ovid's.
Ovid's.
Yeah, maybe you can get him on that.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Well, Ryan's probably firing it up with all the selfie lights.
Right, Wednesday comes along and Debbie is back to the whole flat thing. Maybe I should have put this in the other story. I don't know. But it's related to this story because Ryan's there, because Carla and Lisa are both out somewhere, so they have to have a bit of an awkward exchange, and they talk about the fact that he was fired yesterday, and Debbie's like, no, I'm not going back on it. I fired you, and that's it. I've still got all my faculties, me. So Debbie and Carla meet up at the pub later, and Carla's like, oh, what's going on with you and Ryan? What's happened here? He cares about you a lot. I think maybe you were a bit harsh on him.
He made a mistake.
So at the end of the episode, Ryan comes round to the hotel to collect his stuff. Debbie gives him his job back, and then everything is back to normal, basically.
They have a hug.
They have a hug and everything's fine. Yeah.
But how does he know that's not unwanted
well,
sexual attention?
Exactly. Did she squeeze his bum while she had her arms around him? because
and he's like, it's just a joke. It's just a joke.
yeah.
When he hugs her, you see his face, and he just looks devastated, and he's saying, like, I'll be here for you every day.
Yes, they do have that little conversation, don't they? So I suppose, even though it feels like this goes back to being exactly where it was to begin with, there is some kind of step forward in the Ryan and Debbie relationship, and he's committed to being a main character in her story over the next couple of years. Yeah.
Oh.
He's like, I'm good at long-term stories. Did you see the acid attack one? I wasn't off your screens for like 8 months. And she's like, this could go for 2 years, Ryan. Do you think you could manage it? Like, I've got it in me, Debbie.
My scar's going smaller every time, so yeah.
So yeah, I found this story this week just kind of fine.
It's an interesting reason to talk about employment rights, isn't it?
Yeah, that's about all I got out of it, really.
We're covering all kinds of topics today. Gay conversion therapy.
With only 2 episodes as
dementia, employment rights, sexual harassment at work. Now we're going to talk about insurance fraud. Because we're talking about the armed robbery. Yeah. Storyline. Had to do it properly, didn't I?
More Dev this week, which is what we wanted. He appeared on the final scene of last week, and he was proper devving it up for most of this week. But in the last scene where he comes back absolutely fuming, having heard about the party, I kind of got a bit of whiplash from that. I was I do like Dark Dev, but I wasn't. Well, I need to sometimes be prepared for it. He caught me by surprise.
He's terrifying. He's like, if he was my dad, I would never put a foot wrong. You know, because he would pull up the whole, I'm very disappointed in you. Yeah. And that's just devastating. Get it?
I get it.
On Monday, Dev is telling Aadi about, this robbery thing. It wasn't your fault. And he's feeling dreadful about it. Dev and Bernie are talking about getting married. And Aadi walks out. And Dev says to Bernie, I think, I'm getting a bit worried.
Yeah, Aadi's looking proper terrified. Not just, he's had a couple of dramas recently, hasn't he?
He's not making his own life
He knows that he needs to tell Dev about it because he knows how these things work and Dev's going to find out. But he's just make it awkward about it and he knows that it's going to let him down.
So, Aadi tells Gemma and Debbie about the robbery as though it was real.
Yeah.
And then Lauren and Aadi have a chat later and they're kind of realising that they both like each other, but Lauren's not ready to jump into bed with him. But Aadi kind of makes up this silly 3-year plan for their relationship.
Oh, that was quite cute, wasn't it? What is it? Holding hands the first year, peck on the cheek second year. I quite like that.
Well, if you want it to move faster, you better employ her.
I'm not feeling the same level of this is so cute as we've had in recent Corrie teen romances. No. Like when they put Aadi together with R. Kelly, I thought that that was done over a similarly short period, wasn't it? And that was super adorable. And then when we had Nina and Seb, similar. I'm just not feeling it here, and I don't know whether it's my bias against Lauren, but I did enjoy Dev on Friday saying, "What do you want to go out with Lauren for? She just looks sullen all the time."
I know.
So they have made that a purposeful character trait of her that people are going to call her out on. Good. She is
this reminds me of when they realised that Kate Connor was actually a spoiled brat.
Yeah, and then they lent into it.
Yeah, and it also it's also funny that Aadi clearly has just got a thing for blondes.
Well, it's also
all of his girlfriends have just been blondes.
Yeah, that's why he's not. Well,
was Courtney not blonde?
Yeah, Courtney was blonde. I'm just saying that he could have been there with Amy, couldn't he?
Well, maybe that's why there's no spark.
I'm gutted that Amy's not playing more of a part in this. I thought that this was going to be a long-awaited revival of Amy.
You need to let it go.
But I suppose
there's a 3-year plan, Michael.
I suppose the other thing with Aadi is at the moment, like, how much does he fancy Lauren, and how much is it a case of I know that I'm only interested in her because I want to stop her finding out about me spiking her accidentally at the party,
or is it just like guilt?
Yeah.
And he's like trying to be nice to her.
Yeah, I mean he's a nice guy. He doesn't mind that she's got a kid, apparently, and I could see that, and she's a lovely looking lady. But it's got disaster written all over it, hasn't it? There's no way that this can last once she finds out what happened at the party.
No, I don't think so. So Dev asks Aadi if he could have a chat and asks him, what's up, you've barely spoken to me since I got back. And Aadi's like, oh, just really tired, too many early mornings. Dev pushes a bit further, and just as Aadi is about to confess, Bernie walks in and gets the vibes and like puts a stop to it.
I think there were 2 scenes this week, I remember, where Aadi's just about to tell Dev.
Yep.
Classic soap opera.
And he's like, Dev, I think your kebab shop's on fire. And it was
She says, I think
kind
I can smell some smoke coming from over
and
there.
and Dev's like, what the hell? And he kind of rushes off. That was a really funny scene because she was trying to convince him that there was a fire, but she was being very casual about it.
That was a good scene.
Bernie then says to Aadi, look, do not tell Dev about this. We've got to sort this out for ourselves. So Dev, Bernie and Asher meet up in the pub later, and Dev tells Bernie that he's going to take a look at the books for Aadi and try and sort it out. And Bernie says, no, don't do that. You need to show Aadi that you can trust him. He can do it himself.
See, this is odd to me because I don't think they've made it super clear why Aadi's continuing as the face of the business now that Dev's back, because he only took over the shop while he was away, and Dev's back now. So why isn't he just slotting back into his position?
Make it seem as though somehow Aadi is now in charge of the corner shop forever.
Yeah, exactly. Dev's got to find out about this at some point. Is he just too busy thinking about the chip shop and prima donna at the moment? I don't know.
No, I don't.
If I was Dev, I would immediately be wanting to get back and have a look through the takings to find out how things have been going.
Well, even that.
How's
Also,
my little entrepreneur doing while I've been away?
I think I would also go, you got robbed, son. This is very serious. I'm going to have to show you how to go through the books to tell them what, they're going to need proof of why there's £6,000 in the till.
Yeah.
Let's go through and make sure all the paperwork's together because they're going to ask us for all this stuff. Why is he going, oh yeah, that's fine. He can just sort that out himself.
Well, for plot convenience, Dev isn't looking too deep.
It's very hands off
at the moment. Yes.
So Aadi and Lauren are in the cafe, and Dev comes in looking for Bernie.
This is today's episode now, isn't it?
Oh yeah, Wednesday. Sorry. And have I finished talking about? Yeah. He's looking for Bernie, but she's not there. And he admits to them that he needs his lucky boxers because he's going for a golf game. And there's a bit of confusion because he says tea and they think he's going to drink it. And he's like, no, it's golf. They make fun of him for a bit. And Dev doesn't like this. So he starts roasting Lauren about her dad being a criminal. Lauren doesn't like it and storms off. And then Aadi and Dev go back to home together. And Dev's like, yeah, I don't like her. She's just miserable. And Aadi calls her a snob, and he's like, what? He was really funny. I just loved him so much in this scene. He gets left with Bernie, and he's like, why can't Aadi just find a girl that's not thick and doesn't
have a history of being a massive racist?
Yeah, and not like a white supremacist.
Yeah.
I don't think he's completely out of order for at least having some hesitation there.
I don't think that Lauren or even Reese actually showed any particular problem of people from Indian descent, did they? It was more Muslims that they
because their family is Hindu, aren't they?
Yeah.
And everyone knows that racists love Hindus.
Well, I don't think that they were particularly the target of,
it did seem
of Reese and Griff's ire.
Islamophobic.
But I still would be on Dev's side, maybe a little bit cautious about this.
Well, you can't. It's difficult because if you tell your kid, you're going to drive a wedge, aren't you? But he's talking to Bernie. He's a bit more frank with Bernie.
He's also seen Aadi getting into relationships with dodgy women like at least twice before, because Kelly's dad was a loan shark,
summer.
And then he does basically his annual bit of stuff that has
blonde bit. He's got a bit serious issues.
Kelly clearly had serious issues with her dad, and then she disappeared off into the night and we've never heard from her again. And then Courtney was married to one of Dev's business associates. So I don't blame Dev for thinking, like, why can't you just get a normal girl?
Get a normal girlfriend.
Go out with Amy. Her mum's just a murderer. That's fine with me.
That's fine. She's been acquitted.
Yeah.
So
I wonder how weird it would have been, actually. I can't remember whether it's been brought up or not. If Aadi had got into a proper relationship with Amy, because Dev has also slept with Tracy at one point. How awkward would that be at family gatherings if things went further?
That would be quite fun.
Yeah, that could be. Could be.
Fun,
I can
Christmas.
foresee a fun dinner party scene there
Yes.
with Dev and Tracy and Bernie. But alas,
Do you think
it
that's
won't
why
be.
we like Christmas episodes so much? Because there's often a dinner scene in it, and people don't have dinner parties anymore, so there's not as much opportunity
possibly.
for hilarity.
Sally always.
I
has
cannot
dinner
wait for
parties.
Sally to get Lisa and Carla over for a dinner party.
I know. She's
Especially
totally
with
gonna invite
Joni
them
and
round.
Shoni there.
Shanice, yeah.
I know, I'm calling Joni and Shoni. Those two girls, she's going to be all like, I'm very proud of myself, I'm a foster mum.
Yeah.
And showing them off and everything. Anyway, so he's complaining, why does Aadi pick these dodgy birds up? And Bernie says, well, he's got a sweet heart and he's very nice and he is attracted, obviously, to vulnerable women, I guess. Aadi goes to the pub and Lauren gives him a beer and says that she's forgiven Dev, but she hasn't forgotten about it. And Dev comes in to mend fences with her, and he also called her Lynette at one point.
Oh
which
yeah,
is
you got her name
hilarious.
wrong. That was funny.
And Aadi called him the Duke of Weatherfield, which I thought was funny.
Yeah, Dev makes a big show when he comes and sits down next to Lauren and is like, so, Lauren, like
Yeah.
he's so proud of himself for getting the
Remembered
girl's
your name.
name right. I mean, she was on missing posters
Yeah.
for a good few months last
this
year.
is
He
why-
doesn't really have an excuse.
This is why she was never found, because they obviously put Lynette on all of them. And so I don't know where that girl is, but Lauren's just hiding around the corner. So he talks to her, then he comes back to the house absolutely fuming because for some reason Lauren's decided to drop Aadi right in it by telling Dev that there was a massive party at his house when he wasn't there.
Yeah, how did that happen?
She ended up off her face on drugs and hurt her ribs. And he's like, "What? Why did you not tell me that this happened?"
Did she?
And
I thought that he was just mad about the party. I don't know whether she told Dev about
she
the
did.
drugs.
He did.
Does
well,
he know about that?
I don't know.
I didn't think he did.
Well, he knows that she hurt herself and that there was a party there, and he has a go at Bernie too, and Bernie didn't have a word to say back. She was like, yeah, you got me there. Oops. This is what the trouble is if you want to be the cool stepmom.
Yeah.
So, and he's also really mad at Aadi because it's Aadi's idea, and he's like, oh, have you got anything else to tell me? Is that it? Is there anything else that I don't know? Oh, this is also a classic soap. And Aadi and Bernie are like, no. So Dev goes upstairs, and then Aadi says to Bernie, the insurance company are going to call me tomorrow. And Bernie's like, you don't tell him anything until this is all sorted out. If you want to tell him, probably shouldn't, but wait at least.
Was it? I can't remember. Was it that the insurance company are getting back to Aadi to tell him whether they are
think so,
agreeing? Yeah. It doesn't feel like there's anything that would make them
tip
not
them off.
give him the money. No, it all seems pretty legit at this point.
There's
so
no reason to not.
I think that they're probably going to want to string it out a little bit longer, and they'll give him the money. But he's going to find out, obviously, at some point.
Yeah.
And the question is whether he'll stay quiet about it.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. I don't know. It feels like he would want to have his son be taught a lesson. He's pretty much above the books, above board, isn't he?
The parents on Corio are very interesting, aren't they? Interesting bunch.
Yeah. Anyway, that was fine, that story. I didn't love it as much as I thought I would. But there wasn't much to go on, was it? It wasn't particularly meaty plot
it's fine.
this week for them. And then we got the Lou story.
Is this the last one?
No, there's still got a couple of little mini bits left. So not a whole lot. We kind of covered it earlier. Really, is basically Lou's going to prison, and that's that. Sally tells Shanice and Joni on Monday that they're going to go and see their mum in prison. Brody's like, I'm not going because he's still hurting after Mick disowned him last week, and he's being a bit,
Well, he probably blames his
huffy
mum now
about
because
it.
he wouldn't even be in the situation if she hadn't slept with Kit.
Yeah. So they go and see Lou, Sally and the girls, and Shanice is just full of questions, and Lou's like, lovely seeing you girls, but can you bugger off over there?
Yeah.
So the grown-ups want to talk. Like, I feel that's pretty gutting for the two kids. They barely got to see their mum. It was just to Sally and Lucy, wasn't it?
And on Wednesday, when they're off, they're playing. They're actually playing at the hot drink station.
Yeah.
Which I would be absolutely infuriated by if I was visiting at the prison and I trying to put sugar in my tea and the two little children are using them as Polly Pockets or something.
So poor old Lou's having a bit of a weep, saying, "Oh, it's horrible here. I need to get out. My kids need me. I could plead not guilty and win with the right brief." So, I've heard of this. There's a good one. Can you give me some money, Sally?
No.
No. As yet again, somebody asking someone else for money. Don't bother asking Debbie for it either.
No, Debbie would give you a couple of grand.
Yeah, and that's it. But so Sally's like, "Well, no, even if I could lend you money, how could I be sure that you'd get off?" And Lou's begging her, but...
No way, I wouldn't lend her money.
No way. Sally should 100% not lend her this money.
Well, she doesn't. She doesn't have it.
And also at the end of the day, Lou did hit him over the head.
She did do it, yeah.
It's, I guess she needs to face soap justice, doesn't she? So the tables are kind of turned on Wednesday where...
Why did she hit him over the head again?
She wanted money off of him. Everyone just wants money off of
people.
people.
What does she want money for?
Because she needs somewhere to stay. For the rent, I think all it was. Now Mick's not about to earn the builder money for them.
Right.
They want to stay living in Maudsley Street.
The person who works at the council housing office is just sitting there going, "No one's coming today. It's very... Normally have loads of appointments."
So there's a second visit on Wednesday's episode. They're all making cakes at the beginning of the day.
What a domestic scene.
It was such bliss, wasn't it? Yeah.
And Tim is...
I loved... Actually, niece, she was being a bit of a madam, wasn't
cheeky.
she? Saying...
You've got a big bald head.
Big bald head.
And
you need 10 ovens to put your head in.
How funny and charming. No.
I didn't mind her. I think that she might have the potential to be annoying. Not yet. Not yet. I think she's
fine. It's cute, but I would never have spoken to an adult like that when I was her age.
No, but I get the impression that the McCallists haven't been brought up with quite the same
they
morals.
Obviously feel free to express themselves.
Yeah, exactly. So they go along to the prison, and Lou's pretty much given up by this point. She's like, "Yeah, I'm going to go down for a couple of years." Sally says to Lou, "Look, I'm going to try and make Brody understand what you've had to go through with Mick." And Lou says, "Oh, he already knows. He's seen it. Just please don't bring the kids to see me anymore. I don't want them to...
I don't want to be in the show anymore.
Don't want to see them. I don't want them to see me locked up here. I don't want this to be what they think of when they think of me." And she's crying again.
It's like, if you're Sally, you're like, are you
Sally's
planning
like,
to die in here or something?
And then they say their goodbyes, and that was it, really, wasn't it? They have a big old hugs, and then, as I say, quite possibly, goodbye, Lou.
Yeah, maybe.
It's very much understood and assumed that Sally and Tim are going to keep these girls, isn't it? It feels a bit of a fait accompli, but I feel that there's maybe a few more hoops to jump through and paperwork
in real life,
to
I
sign.
think the social worker in this story is like, yeah, fine.
Yeah. I suppose your main characters.
Yeah. How long's your contract?
How long have you two been married? Oh, that's a long time. Sounds like the
I think
writers
you might
want to keep you
break up
together.
soon, though.
So yeah.
What's this? Tim was being very good with them.
Yeah.
The kids, and then Lou gave him a massive hug, didn't she? And she's crying, very emotional.
Yeah.
Do you think it's the right thing to do to not have your kids visit you? I don't.
No.
I mean, it's good. It makes sense in the show if the character, the actress is.
But they don't have
left.
to show it, do they?
No, they don't. But
I just don't like the idea of Lou being miserable and alone.
No, I know, but she says, "I don't want my children to remember me in prison." But they're not going to forget you're in prison.
No, I mean, I suppose they can still have phone calls with her, can't they? But we saw how much Shanice was begging to go and see her mum. And she's not going to stop just because Lou says, "I can't see you anymore." Poor old Shanice is desperate to see her mum, and it feels a bit cruel not to.
When you're little, you don't care
about
where you are. You just love your parents. And obviously, there's no question of the visiting Mick, apparently.
I think it would be harsher on Joni. I think she's a bit older to understand what's going on here.
But also, I'm just thinking... those two girls are going to change so much in 2 years. She's going to miss so many things. Like just seeing them change, and that's sad.
Yeah. But anyway, we'll see, won't we?
Maybe some people who have a parent in prison would say, no, it was utterly traumatising. I hated going there. I wish I hadn't been forced to. But maybe some people would say, oh, my parent went to prison and I wasn't allowed to see them and it was devastating.
Yeah. I'd want to give the kid the option, probably, but I'm not in prison, so it doesn't matter.
I think we should not commit crimes, but it also doesn't matter because we don't have any children.
What, I'd want you to bring the cat in to see me. Do they let that happen?
Oh my God.
Pet visitation. You get your kids can come in. You can have your conjugal rights if your spouse comes in. Where's the pet stay at the prison?
Pet day. That would be amazing.
They totally should.
Well, in some prisons they let them keep animals, don't they? Because when we went to the Isle of Wight, they had a prison there, and the birds that were in the zoo that we went to, what was Monkey World or whatever, they were from the prison.
Oh.
Because they let them keep pets.
You're right.
Because I've heard that it helps you, if you're in prison, it helps you to kind of feel responsible for...
When you're in prison, you can have phone calls with anyone, I assume, as long as they're on your list. You can be visited by anyone can join your visitors list. But is there no way that you can contact your pets?
I bet
you can't talk to your pets on the phone.
No.
That would be the worst. That's so cruel.
Aadi does... meow when you're on the phone.
Oh yeah, that's true actually.
Can you visit your pet in prison?
Are you just Googling it?
No.
You can't visit your pet in
general,
prison?
In general, you cannot visit your pet in prison.
Okay.
Well, maybe this is just when the pets are in prison.
That's just like a catter, isn't it? Right, come on, let's move on. What's Lisa been up to this week? She's also been a bit sullen, hasn't she?
Well, I think her cat's in prison for some kind of really horrific crime against humanity because it's been banked up with no possibility of parole.
And no consideration of, shall we go and get this cat now?
No, war crimes.
I just think it's hilarious that they're buying this new house and they're not even spoken at all about their flat.
They haven't spoken...
It's like they've forgotten it exists.
What flat? Oh, her flat.
The Swain flat.
Who's buying this house? Are they buying it together?
I think so.
I know that it's boring, but I would sometimes like them to be a slight discussion of logistics. Like, what was that Mars movie?
What?
Where he poos in a bag and eats the potatoes that come out
Martian?
of it. Yeah. That film was, and the book especially, was just like pages and pages of him working out the maths and it was like super, super involved. But on Coronation Street, I think probably what they did was go into the estate agent, write on a bit of paper, turn it over and slide it across the table. And then the estate agent picks it up and nods. And that's the whole, then the house is yours.
Yeah.
There's nothing to sign.
Well,
there's no boring forms.
The fact that Debbie was already measuring up. She's like, I'll be moving in here next week, I assume.
It sounds like it because she's saying to Ryan, have they booked the movers?
Yeah, the removal van.
No, because we've just literally decided to buy the house and it's going to be about 6 months.
Yeah, in real world
Not that
terms.
we're bitter. I hate buying a house. Right, on Monday, Lisa's in her jammies and these did cause a stir on Twitter because she did look quite nice in them. They were very, very glam, very nice, pale blue, Statue of Liberty-esque. She's feeling down in the dumps even though she looks amazing. She feels inadequate and she says, Carla, I'm done. Because she thinks that her career as a cop is over because she doesn't run to danger anymore. In the factory, Michael sees on Carla's computer that she has emailed Logan to ask to be put on his visitors list. And so Carla tells him that she's doing it because Lisa's tied herself in knots over Becky's death and she thinks it's worth a shot to see if he can tell her anything. And Ryan says, I think this is a bad idea. So Carla comes home from work later and Lisa's kind of perked herself up a bit. And she's running another bar. But she's also expecting...
It's not Ryan, it was Michael, wasn't it? I have written Ryan.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Michael thinks it's a dangerous move.
It was Michael.
She's running a bath, but she's also getting chips. I'd rather have a bath after I've had my chips. But she's saying, I'm going to put all my energy into getting my career back on track. It'll all be fine. And so Lisa goes to get the chips and Carla texts Michael and says, you're right. I shouldn't contact Logan. It's a bad idea.
One of our friends was messaging us the other day saying, Carla and Lisa are always having baths. And that's the only way that they show their intimacy. It's true. They're probably like a pair of wrinkled prunes underneath those jammies, the amount of baths they have.
I hope number 6 has got a bath.
I'm sure it does. I can imagine Yasmin was a bit of a bath person.
Do you think they'll get one of those claw foot baths?
Yeah.
Really posh, like big, nice scroll top.
As I say, if you're going to have a bath every day, which this pair seem to do, then it's a good investment, isn't it?
Well, look, I don't
No
want
point
to.
us having a bath because we're shower people.
Yeah, far be it from me to even dare to say anything rude about Swala, because I never would, because I'm too scared of Swala fans. But I'm just going to point out that there's a drought going on, and I'm not allowed to water my plants with a hose.
Oh yeah, I've got a hose pipe ban now, so I think we should have a bath ban.
I think that at the very least they need to get the buckets out. When they've had their bath, they can use that to flush the toilet. But I don't think that's as romantic.
No, you're true. Okay, nothing particular.
Well, they do share the bath, so does it work out, you know?
Yeah, maybe.
Does it work out less water?
Maybe.
Do they make Ryan going at the end?
What else happens?
That's it.
Yeah.
Contacting Logan would be a bad
Clara
idea.
agrees not to go and see Logan.
But did she accidentally send this email?
I don't think so.
Or okay.
I don't know. But yeah, nothing a whole lot happened there, but it was some nice scenes there. And then we had just the Sam stuff, the hide and geek story. So last week, Lily cruelly locked him outside the classroom when Mick was on the rampage, and it's clearly made quite an impression on young Samuel, because on Wednesday Audrey has her 85th birthday party, and there were some funny scenes there, weren't there?
I'd love a Platt dinner party at the bistro.
I do, but I'm also, I don't know whether I'm a bit over them. It feels like it's a well that they keep returning to.
I know, but we besmirched Platt chat, and they haven't brought it up again since, because they're embarrassed now. So I don't want them to stop having their funny parties.
It was kind of sad having a Platt bistro party with no Gail there, though.
Oh, I know.
Absence was noted.
It's definitely a cliche. Like, none of the other families do this.
No, well, that's because there aren't any other big families on the street.
No, I think they're the biggest Platt family.
This is what Coronation Street needs to do. They need to invest in making the families bigger. No wonder they struggle when there's nominations for best family, because some of the soap awards do have that now, don't they? And it's like, oh, I don't know.
This family
Platts,
with three in them. This family with three in them.
Yeah. The Platts have got a dynasty there, but literally nobody else does. Maybe that's what they're trying to do with the Metcalfs, getting Shanice and Joni involved just to bump up the numbers. Maybe that's why they're so desperate for Brody to join in. But
Shoni and Joni.
Everybody else seems to, like you say, be a family of 2 or 3 if you're lucky.
I mean, the Barlows are a big family, but they're all dispersed, aren't they? And they're more like cats.
Yeah, I mean, who have we got there?
Whereas the Platts are like a pack of dogs.
I suppose if you had a Barlow family dinner, you'd have Ken, Adam, Daniel, Tracy, Amy. Yeah, I suppose there's them. But I think that is something that Corrie's lacking at the moment.
No, I agree with you. The Platts are the biggest family.
But they shouldn't be the only family. I wonder if it's the same similar on other soaps.
But they've rejuvenated a little bit by adding Leanne and Toya, haven't they?
Yes,
and their arguments.
That was funny. That was all the arguments and the discussions over what people have got Audrey for her birthday were quite.
Yeah,
fun.
what did she get? She got a nice silk scarf from Sarah.
Louise, yeah.
She got a
Fresh Goes
voucher from Shona and David.
That was hilarious.
And then
Leanne
bought her a bottle of fizz.
Yeah,
and it's come
fancy
on.
fizz.
And then
I can't remember.
I think that Toya must have bought her a candle or a jar of face. It was like a green glass jar, so maybe face cream or a candle or hand cream.
But Leanne's smug expression as she's clearly one-upped Toya with her present there. Did I leave
the price on?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was, wasn't it?
She's so funny.
That was great. That was great. And they have chats about Kit as well, don't they? Who couldn't make it to the party?
They're all teasing Sarah about Kit.
Well, and they're making fun of David being short again, which I do quite enjoy, but it makes me feel bad as well because he's about the same height as me. Yeah, but that was kind of fun. Yeah, Audrey saying, okay, who was it? Leanne said to Sarah Lou, if you ever split up with Kit, send him my way. And Audrey's like, oh, get in the queue first. It was quite fun. Yeah. But basically, it was all just a bit of preamble to Sam going missing and Leanne finding him hid under the desk in the office because he's still traumatised by last week's Mick on the Rampage incident. And I felt so bad for him. He's just like, oh, because things get a bit too much for me and I just need somewhere quiet and alone and safe. And me too. I totally get that.
I think we all need escape pods.
Yeah. I've definitely hidden away in places somewhere and like,
I've got enough. I've got to go somewhere else.
Back in my old school, and this is going back 16 years or so ago, I would occasionally go and stand inside the cupboard in my classroom. Now my classroom at the moment doesn't have a cupboard, but I used to just sometimes go there when things were getting a bit much And it is kind of nice sometimes, isn't it? Just to be able to say, just leave me alone a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do fear a little bit for Sam and what this is. Is it going to be more of a Sam's traumatized story, or is it going to be a Lily versus Sam and their parents? Because David is still insistent that Lily didn't do anything wrong, and I think we did talk about it last week, didn't we? And I think I was of the mind that
it's every man for himself.
In the moment, I don't think that Lily did it on purpose.
She didn't. She wasn't locking Sam out. She was locking herself in, and he was on the other side of the door. But for Sam, it must have been really traumatizing to like fear for your life for some reason. For this man that you don't know why you would anyway. So he's scared.
A murderer. He knows he's a murderer.
He doesn't murder little boys.
Yeah, but Sam's he didn't know this.
Well, he's scared, and seeing your his cousin, right?
Yeah.
On the other side of the glass, and knowing that she's just locked you out, and you could get killed, and your mum's been murdered not that long ago.
Yeah.
You would freak out.
Yeah. So I'm hopeful that we might get a bit more of this. It just feels like a nice change. A lot of the other stories that we've been getting this week feel like they've been just running a little long. Like the Theo and Todd story is a bit long in the tooth at the moment, and Debbie's dementia has been going on for a while, and it's still going to. Even though the McCarlis antics feel like it's just circling the same kind of sort of stuff again. So having Sam and the Platts, who have been fairly quiet this year. I know we had the fire and everything a few months ago, but I certainly wouldn't be adverse to them spending a bit more screen time together next week or on Friday or whatever. But anyway, that's it for this week's Corrie. We both agreed that Monday's episode really didn't do much to light our fires.
Did I say bobbins or?
Yeah, we said you said bobbins for Monday, and I followed suit with that. But then you really liked today's episode. You said today's was banging, and I was like, it was okay, but it wasn't banging.
It's really funny how when you watch it, you have a reaction, but when you read out what happened, I feel like I always seem to like it more. You know what you mean. When we talk about it, I think to myself, why didn't I like that then? What was really wrong with it? And it's normally, I mean, this is what I mean. It
didn't particularly excite me this week. It was okay.
But this is what I mean, though. You know, people always moaning about the stories and stuff, but they're all right. You know, stories are all right. There's always a lot. There's always a range. There's always something different going on. There's always
it didn't do quite enough to either excite me or make me think, oh, you know, this script is brilliant. This is really jumping off the page. It was only 2 episodes, and they did the job. I'm going with 3 obsolete injunctions that reflect the time the Bible was written out of 5 for this week.
That, Billy, and play it to the bishop and get you fired.
What about you?
Remember when we had a little mini storyline about Billy burning himself out by throwing himself into working too hard after Paul's death?
Oh yeah.
So obviously he's not doing that anymore.
He's given up on that. What are you scoring at? Are you have you got a character of the week?
What did you give it for?
3. No, 3.
I'm going to give it 3.5 ovens for Tim's big, bold head.
Why does he need half an oven? Are you going to
that's where his ears go.
Yeah, you're going to chop bits off of him and grill them in there.
This is why we can't get advertising on this podcast.
Character of the week.
Chopping people's ears off.
Character of the week this week.
Debbie.
Do you reckon Debbie? Because I didn't love that story, but I don't know whether, as I say, there were too many stories that really did it for me. Dev was great, but
I just want to say something quickly about the scene with Debbie and Carla in the pub when they were just having a little chat. Definitely, Lisa has rubbed off a bit on Carla.
Oh, how so?
Kind of like smoothed her corners a little, her edges out a little bit, you know, because she was being quite soothing and nice to Debbie. And she wouldn't normally. In the past, I think she would have been like, "Now, Debbie, why have you fired our Ryan?" Like she was like, you know, she was like, "Look, let's talk about you."
Well, she does need to keep Debbie on her side if they're going to be doing a bit of house business together.
Well, she doesn't need her to buy her flat, really.
I guess not.
Anyone could buy that flat.
Well, she Debbie could gazumper again, though, couldn't she? She's not careful.
I don't think she's worried about that anymore.
Right, I am giving Character of the Week to...
Noah, the evil
No.
converter.
Nobody in that story.
Who was evil this week? Because we had a question, didn't we, on Twitter about why do we...
Yeah, but I did consider Mick last week.
Do you only ever give Character of the Week to Goody Two Shoes?
Yeah, no, I didn't particularly enjoy Noah this week.
What about Lou?
No, I'm going to give it to Dev. Nice having him back for a full week. Well, for 2 episodes worth of a full week. And apart from his change in mood for the final scene, he was entertaining until then.
I liked him calling Lauren Lynette, and I also liked it when he was accused of being a snob and he made these really elaborate hand gestures, like as if to say how on earth.
I like that he called Lauren out for being a big old Mardy moo.
Yeah, finally someone says it. It's the elephant in the room.
Yeah. Right. Anyway, that is it for Street Talk this week. Next time we'll be talking about 4 episodes. It's probably going to be mega long, but for now a little short one for you. There's no news this week particularly. We've only got a little bit of feedback, so let's finish things off with that.